Thank you so much for joining us. You look as handsome as ever.
Thank you for having me.
If you could just tell us a little bit about what you think the ultimate Giovani man is all about.
Well, from what I've experienced in the past day, ever since our relationship started, what I've been seeing, in the collection of what Giovani has, I think it actually defines a very style-sensible man. And with their all-time famous Italian cuts, they're actually bringing forward a very, I think, available kind of, clothing and dressing for every kind of man out there. So I feel what Giovani is doing is great with formal clothing. You can carry yourself with style. It definitely looks like a man of substance, whoever wears it, I think, and it can be worn to every other occasion. So I'm really happy to be a part of their team and to be representing them. I think it's a great honor, and yeah, that's it.
Well, you certainly are the epitome of the Giovani man, and you look extremely dapper, as always.
Thank you.
Rachna, I wanted to ask you, I think it's pretty obvious though, but why Fawad for Giovani?
That's slightly personal. So what happened was, about a year ago, a friend of mine told me that I must watch this channel called Zindagi, and there are these Pakistani serials televised on that. I hadn't heard of this before. So I went home and I tuned out and saw Zindagi Gulzar Hai, and I was hooked. I had a date with Fawad, all alone at home, watching him on TV, night after night.
You're not supposed to tell
watched Humsafar, watched Dastan, and then actually Khoobsurat happened. And when I watched the movie, frame after frame, I said, there's never a guy who looks so good wearing a classic suit or a Bandhgala. And that's when Mr. Kishore Biani, my boss, called me and he said, why don't we look at the opportunity of signing up Fawad Khan for Giovani? And the rest, they say, is history. So here we are.
It certainly is. And speaking of Khoobsurat, actually, I mean, everything that you wore in that movie was so stylized, so funky, so fashionable. And of course, the fact that you were standing right next to Sonam Kapoor, who's quite a fashion icon herself, didn't hurt either. So, it kind of puts you on the style map. What is Fawad's personal style?
Are you sure you want me to answer that question?
Yes.
No, actually, my personal style is, I've always felt that the classic man, the hero that has been from the 50s or the 60s, the 70s. That is where the real definition of man came from, which especially on film. Style icons for me have been men like French actors like Alain Delon and Paul Newman and many, many other actors, but from that age in particular. So I feel that classic touch to fashion is something that suits me best. Having said that, I like the fusion of that with what is coming out now, the way it's fusing with contemporary. But if I were to wear anything out on an average day, it would be something from that era.
That's fantastic. Well, that's the great thing about Giovani, that it caters for everyone with every sense and style. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much. If I could ask you both now to please take a seat, and we will open the floor to a question and answer session. Yeah, lady in the back here, yes?
Hi Fawad, what's your favorite accessory?
Sorry, ma'am?
Hi Fawad, this is Urmi here.
Yes,
what's your favorite accessory?
What's my favorite accessory? I'm actually, yeah.
Pocket squares.
Pocket squares is something that people hate me for, especially on film sets. So that's why they stop me from wearing jackets now, because I take at least 20, 25 minutes to pick the right one. So I'm just kidding. Yeah, it is my favorite accessory.
And do we ever see you wearing something that's totally dhinchak? Bollywood, little loud?
I think there's no such thing as, I'm glad that, obviously you identify certain things with every industry, and saying Bollywood loud, I think is probably something that has become that idea of fashion. But I feel that anything that may be loud does not necessarily have to be unfashionable. So I wouldn't mind wearing it as long as I can wear it in my style. So I may have tried that in my earlier days with a couple of projects that I've done. But again, I feel that it's how you carry it and how you wear it. So I'm open to it as long as it suits me, it suits my silhouette.
Okay, the lady in the stripes there.
Yeah. Hi, Fawad. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
To your left. Hi. This is Manisha from Dainik Bhaskar. Now you are a Bollywood hero, you are a fashion icon, the style icon. So whose fashion do you admire in B-Town? Actor and actress, anyone?
Well, from the actresses, I think there are many, but obviously I've worked with one very recently, and she is one hell of a fashion icon. Sonam, I think, has an impeccable sense of fashion. I think I've always felt, that she would wear a newspaper, she would make it look fashionable. So her and amongst the guys, again, there are many names. I like the styles of everyone, because they carry it with their own attitude. And I think style and fashion is all about attitude, how you carry it. But I think the way that Imran Khan dresses is very tasteful.
Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah. Can you
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Vijay Shankar here.
Good afternoon.
Well, what is your view about fashion in Bollywood over the years? And how much have you seen Indian cinema?
I've seen my fair share of Indian cinema ever since I was a kid. I've not really seen all of the films, but yes, we were, and I mentioned this before as well. I used to be like a big fan of Amitabh Bachchan films as well as Anil Kapoor's films, Rishi Kapoor's films. All of the comedies from back in the day in the 70s and the 80s. As far as the fashion is concerned, I think at one point in time, I wouldn't like to criticize it in any way, because every age is specific. The fashion is specific for them. One thing that I did not like, and probably I don't like till today, is something that when men wear bell bottoms. I think it's just not something for the man. So that is something I did disagree with, but I think the leather jackets, the cuts for jackets and shirts at that time did sort of define that age. And I think it has evolved over time. There's been there's clear demarcations over the decades. Like in the 70s, these big collar shirts, big lapel jackets, and men used to wear the collars outside on top of the jacket. It was a very Italian, New York gangster thing to do. And then it went on to the 80s, where I think anything and everything just worked. And then came the 90s and the 2000s. I think in 2000 the fashion sense has refined the most. And I think what now is going on in Bollywood, especially in editorials, on the ramps, on the catwalks, and in the magazines and in the movies, it's amazing. I think there's so much versatility out there now that you can pick and choose from any age. And I don't think we should, at this point in time, limit ourselves to just like what is the trend this year. Right now, I think is the perfect time where you could choose a fashion that belongs to any age, which suits you best.
Fawad, yeah, this is Rakesh here.
Yes, Rakesh. I'm sorry.
To your left.
To my left.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm wearing my glasses.
Yeah, it's okay. Fawad, after खूबसूरत आपके फैंस जो है आपको बड़े पर्दे पर फिर से देखना चाहते हैं, तो क्या कुछ अपकमिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स में है? If you want to share with us.
Gee, I'm working on a project currently, which is being directed by Shakun Batra. It's called Kapoor and Sons. It also has, a lineup of great other actors in the film: Siddharth, Alia, Rishi Saab, Ratnaji, Rajat sir. All of these guys were fantastic actors, great people to work with, and we're hoping to see that release sometime early, the first quarter of next year. Other than that, I'm in discussions with other filmmakers, but nothing as yet has been penned down or concretized. Having said that, nothing has been refused as well. We're constantly just going back and forth on the ideas right now.
फवाद आपका किरदार क्या है उस मूवी में?
Kapoor and Sons movie.
Yeah.
Gee, Siddharth and I were both brothers who were basically competing with one another as authors, as writers.
फवाद आपने छोटे पर्दे और बड़े पर्दे दोनों पे काम किया है. आप अभी क्या समझते हैं? छोटा पर्दा भी बड़ा है एक तरह से?
जी छोटा, वो डिपेंड करता है आप कितना बड़ा टीवी लगाना चाहते हैं तो पर्दा उतना ही बड़ा हो जाता है. बट आई थिंक जो टीवी का चार्म है वो अलग है और फिल्म का चार्म अलग है. हैविंग वर्कड ऑन बोथ मीडियम्स आई हैव लव एंड रिस्पेक्ट एंड रिगार्ड फॉर बोथ द मीडियम्स. फिल्म ज़रा थोड़ा सा चैलेंजिंग हो जाता है, या आपने ना 1.5 घंटे 2 घंटे की रेस के अंदर सब कुछ प्रूव करना होता है. Then on television, obviously, you have the facility, you have the luxury of actually pacing yourself or pacing the story over a number of episodes. But I feel कि जो आजकल हो रहा है, अब television का भी जो एक recent conversion है, especially I think it's something that started in the West and is now catching on even in the East, is how they are turning television into film. Television एक film जैसा अब दिखता है. अब जो टीवी सीरियल्स होते हैं वो फिल्म जैसे देखते हैं. तो अनकरीब आई फील कि इवन इन दिस पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कोई डिस्टिंक्शन नहीं कर पाएगा. ग्लैमर दोनों का उतना ही बड़ा होगा. बट हैविंग सेड दैट, ऑन अ क्लोजिंग आर्गुमेंट, आई हैव लव एंड रिस्पेक्ट फॉर बोथ मीडियम्स. दे बोथ गिवन मी अ लॉट.
Here.
Yes.
To your... Hi.
I'll just behave like I can see all you guys. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can see that.
How are you? Hi.
I'm fine.
Going a little off track from Bollywood and all, Ramzan is going on. So, how do you celebrate Ramzan? What do you do on, how do you celebrate Eid? And what is your favorite delicacy for, Ramzan, which you love and eat?
I don't have one favorite delicacy.
No?
We should have a conversation, and it'll be a very long, at-length conversation later on when we talk about food.
Okay, so at least how are you planning to celebrate the coming Eid?
Well, अभी मैं एक आध दिन के लिए वापस घर गया था, तो मैं HQ को सिर्फ हाथ लगा के आया. But unfortunately, I'll not be able to spend Eid back at home this time around as well. I'm here in Bombay, just finishing up some work. तो यहीं पे गुजरेगी जिस तरह पिछली दफ़ा गुजरी थी. And Eid for me is it's an occasion where you just it's like a meet and greet. I feel it's an occasion that has a lot of traditional importance, but I think what it is at the core of it is actually just, I wouldn't say you resolve differences as well with people during that time. It's an excuse to actually meet people that you've not met for a very long time. So I feel Eid for me is more about meeting people. And number 2 on the list comes food, and number 3 on the list, which I think the most important, is sleeping.
Okay.
So sleeping it off is great.
Any favorite food, biryani or anything would you like to put it out? Which we can probably, say...
Karele.
Sorry?
I'm just kidding. Anything and everything, whatever is laid out on the table. I'm not a very picky, choosy eater. I feel that if anything smells nice, tastes nice, it should go in the belly. So, yeah, I'm not a picky choosy like that.
Okay.
Fawad,
Do we have any questions that are related
Fawad,
to Giovani,
yes.
please?
Fawad,
Yes,
over
yes.
here. Hi, this is
Yes.
Saif.
Yes, sir.
Over, just at the last.
Oh, yeah.
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 फवाद, लड़की आपकी बहुत दीवानी है. इसके पीछे क्या राज है और इससे ब्रांड को कितना फायदा होगा? We want to know your take on it.
राज क्या है? मैं आपको क्यों बताऊं? अगर राज है तो राज ही रहने दें उसको.
सब लोग हैं यहाँ पे, अगर कुछ
फवाद
just let him answer.
It's very sweet. It's very kind of the women. I feel that I'm blessed to be, to be appreciated like that, in that light. I had to be very honest. Never thought that I was the most. I didn't really particularly think I was a very attractive man. But if you guys have taken the call on that, you've decided, I'll just go with it. I don't have a problem. But I just feel that there is a certain what I've assessed over the years, जो मुझे समझ आया है कि एक certain तरीका होता है, way of carrying yourself. And if you're the proper gentleman, I think every woman in the world does tend to fall for a Every woman likes a bad boy, but probably just for the first day or so. But longer crushes last on men who know how to carry themselves and have an attitude that's very genuine. I feel my attitude is very genuine, or if not that, then I act really well. So I have you people convinced.
Fawad, here last, to your left and last.
जी सर.
सर अभी आपकी एक पिक्चर आई थी करीना कपूर के साथ फोटो
जी.
तो कोई फिल्म करने वाले हैं उनके साथ, कुछ बताना चाहेंगे उसके बारे में?
जी वो हमारी एक फिल्म सेट से ही थी. We were shooting for the film, and you guys got that picture. No, nothing. She was promoting for Bajrangi Bhaijaan, and I was doing a photo shoot for Giovani in the same studio. So we happened to meet each other, and that picture got clicked. जहाँ तक फिल्म करने का ताल्लुक है, I would love to work with such a talented actor, such as Kareena herself. I think she has a great body of work behind her. And that goes for a lot of other actors in this industry as well. I have a great deal of respect for the artists because they have catered to a crowd, to an audience all over the world. So having said that, I feel कि उनको अपने craft पे एक बड़ा उबूर है. And to work with such talented actors would be quite a treat. अगर कुछ ऐसा मौका मिला in the future, then why not?
Fawad,
जी सर.
Right.
Right. अच्छा.
Fawad, you have already joined the Khan Brigade in Bollywood. Whom you think is the stylish Khan in Bollywood, and where you stand?
Stylish Khan, though I think I'm the most stylish Khan. I think everyone has an amazing sense of style, and I'm a big fan of it. Now the Khan Brigade, I think I'm not yet at least. I think it's a bit too early to say that I've joined the brigade. But हाँ, जहाँ तक वो पहुँचे, जिस मकाम पे वो आज हैं, I think it's something to marvel at. But to become a part of that, I think थोड़ा वक्त लगेगा. So I wouldn't say I'm standing in line there as yet, but I think to reach such a level is something that I would be surprised at one day as well when I do. They're great actors. Their sense of style is in their own zone. Is very nice. जो कह रहे हैं, I think Salman Khan का जो दबंग style है, I think is great. I think Shah Rukh Khan is, he's trademarked the romantic hero and arms wide open towards the girls. That's his signature. And Amir Khan, I think I'm a very big fan of his work as how he changes for every role and what he does to get a role. The stories that I've heard about him are fantastic. So I'm a fan of all of them, and their attitude is their style, and that's what I'm a fan of as well.
But you have a different voice among the Khans.
I have a what?
Different voice, and voice is very, in fact, outstanding, I can say.
Different voice?
Voice, yeah.
Oh, अच्छा. उसका भी एक है, मतलब I do this exercise every day in the morning. अभी मैं ज़रा आवाज़ थ्रो कर रहा हूँ. मुझे नज़ला है, खांसी है, इसलिए शायद मेरी आवाज़ का बेस और ज़्यादा बढ़ गया है. But अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है, I'm very thankful and very grateful. Thank you so much.
All right, that's all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. If we could give one big round of applause to Fawad Khan and, of course, Rachna Agarwal. Thank you so much for being here. There is lunch being served outside. Have a lovely day.